Hey, welcome to my journey to another meal prep. This week, I'm doing it a little different because I know some of you probably think, okay, she's showing us a video and like, here's this whole recipe and this whole recipe, but we don't really know how the day flows. It doesn't really give you a good sense of how the meal prepping day works. So what I'm going to do, and you let me know if you like it, which way I think it makes more sense to do it this way. If you want the recipes, you can go to my website and get them. If you don't take them off of the video, just go to the link in the description box and that's where all my recipes will be. I thought it would make more sense to give you the flow of my morning, what I did, in what order I did it, and if something was baking while I did this, to show you that prepping, I tell you about every week, does not have to be a big ordeal. Okay, while I'm sitting here and this is finishing up, I show you at the end my clean dishes. I looked at the clock before I started. It was 2 minutes till 6. Now that I've sat down, it just turned to 7:29. So you can just say 2 hours. Hey, I'm jumping in here because I'm editing and I realize I can't tell time. It was not 2 hours. It was an hour and a half. So that's even better. So everything that you're fixing to hear, talking, yay, it was 2 hours. No, even yayer, it was 1.5 hours. So I just want to let you know. Start to finish. And that is not me setting anything up and then starting to film. That the only thing I did before I started filming was I got my dash egg cooker out. That's the only thing. Everything else was start to finish meal prep. I didn't do anything beforehand to get ready to film. I do that a lot of times just because it's easier. Not this time. I said, I'm going to give you a real-time prep. And I got 3 things today. I got 3 things. And 2 of them had to cook in the oven. So one had to do at one temperature and I had to wait on it. And one had to do at another temperature. If I did something else, it would have took me even less time if I didn't have to use the oven. So what we have this week is a recipe I got off the back of the Pioneer gravy packet last time I used it. And I pretty much did it the same, I think. Sometimes I don't know if I write recipes down exactly how they are or how I want to change them. So if you get a Pioneer gravy pack, you'll see the recipe on the back. And I think I even said it tells you to salt and pepper it, but I don't think it does. I don't think it does. So don't salt and pepper it because there's plenty in that gravy, I think. But anyway, I don't even know what they call it. I'm just calling it Pioneer gravy casserole. Pioneer sausage gravy casserole. I don't know. I use turkey sausage. Then for lunch, there's no recipe. It is just roasted vegetables and beef smoked sausage. I just roasted them in the oven. Boom, 15 minutes. They were done, and it didn't take no time to chop the vegetables and the meat. No time at all. And then for a little side dish, a little snack, a little protein, little different than just a plain old boiled egg, is some pickled eggs. I found this particular recipe, which I've made them in the past, so it's nothing new to me. I've made boiled eggs. You know what I'm saying? I'm Southern. You know I make pickled eggs. This is just a recipe that I got out of Amish cookbook, and I just thought it sounded good. And I tell you on the video, but I'll go ahead and tell you now. The liquid that you cook to put on it is good. Oh, they're going to be good. I know they're going to be good. So that's what I have this week for 2 hours work. I'm not tired. I'm not sweating. I feel fine. And so there you go. All right. Well, having said all that, I think there was anything else I was going to tell you? Nope. I think that's it. We'll turn around and get started cooking. First thing I want to do this morning is start my eggs. And if you're not familiar, this is the mini dash egg cooker, whatever. Susie told me she uses the little thing that comes with it to put the water in. I guess if I'd have read the instructions better, I would know that's probably what you're supposed to do. So thank you, Susie. But you take the little cap off the bottom, and there's a pin, and you poke the big end of the egg, and then set the side that you poked up top. Okay, now you put the ring on and the lid on and turn it on, and it will automatically shut off when they're done. The longer you let them sit, the harder they're boiled, the inside. So I let mine sit a few minutes just to make sure they're cooked. You can take them out immediately and they'll be like a little bit of soft boiled, I guess you could say. But anyway, the recipe I'm using this for calls for a dozen. And since this only makes 8, that's how many I'm making. And I think it'll be fine. Now we'll go ahead and start our breakfast casserole. I've preheated my pan. Put a little bit of oil down there. What I'm using is this butterball turkey sausage. Use whatever sausage you want, but I had regular pork sausage last week, so I thought I better lighten it up this week. And this is surprisingly good sausage. It doesn't look like it, but it really is. It's got a good flavor. So we're going to cook this. Hopefully you can hear me over the sausage sizzling. We're going to make our gravy. This is what we're using, and I got the right kind. Just the country gravy mix, not the sausage flavor. This is the kind you want. This is my preference. So I have 1.5 cups of water boiling. Oh, I'm going to have to get the scissors. Hold on. Then pour, I know this is a close angle, pour the gravy mix into 1/2 cup of cold water. And we're going to whisk that around. Then you pour it into your boiling water and whisk it until it is gravy. And it takes no time at all. I will show you real time how quick this comes together. Okay. We have gravy. I'm going to set that aside. This part of the recipe says use a heat-proof skillet. I want something easier to divide evenly since I'm prepping this and not just scooping it out and serving it. You could use your cast iron pan, but I'm using this 9x9 peppered stone. I hope it's a good size because I don't know how this is going to cook up. I've never done this before. But you see, that turkey sausage cooks up just like regular sausage and smells wonderful. You'd be surprised how good this stuff tastes. Okay, now, this part is a very vague recipe because it's on the back of the, hold on, let me move this stuff out of the way. The back of the gravy packet, so there's not but so much room. So I guess maybe that's why they were kind of a vague recipe. But you take 6 eggs. It said 4 to 6, but since I'm doing 6 servings, I'm going to do 6 eggs. I'm going to beat those up. The recipe says add the eggs to the gravy. I'm not adding these eggs to this hot gravy the way it is because they'll just scramble right here in the gravy. So I am going to temper it by putting a little bit of the hot gravy into the eggs to warm them up. I'm still nervous. Listen, there goes that little egg maker. The eggs are done. Okay, now I feel more comfortable putting those eggs in the gravy. This is a strange casserole. I just hope it works. Now, it says season with salt and pepper, but this gravy don't need seasoning. If I need it, I'll add it at the table. Now we just need to pour it over the sausage. This will bake at 350 for 25 to 30 minutes or until this egg layer is set. While the breakfast casserole is cooking, we're going to go ahead and start prepping our lunch. Get a big baking sheet, line it with foil, spray it with cooking spray. Have that sitting aside and ready. We're going to start with a green pepper. You can do any vegetables you like. You could put some broccoli on there, but I was not in the mood for broccoli. I got my garbage bowl back here just to make it easier. And I'm going to cut it in strips first and then in half. That's the size I want mine. I'm just going to throw it over here on the baking sheet. Then we need the onion, and you know I like onions, so I picked out a big one. This is a Vidalia. Probably have better flavor if you bake it with a strong onion because it mellows out, but I want a nice big one. And the way I want to cut these is pretty much the same way. Decent sized strips so they don't cook too fast and burn. And I'm just going to take these apart and throw them in there loose like that. Okay, so actually when let me show you, took that onion apart, that half is really plenty. So I'm going to save this half for our egg recipe. That way I won't have to waste another onion. Then we want one zucchini, which is what I'm using. You can use yellow squash if you want. And I think I will... Oh, I didn't cut that too even. But I think I'm going to cut it in like little half moons. Because I want it done, but I don't want it mushy if I can help it. Now I'm going to, hold on. Okay, I'm going to mix these together. But I'm only going to put it onto one side because I want to weigh my sausage. It'd just be easier if it's all together instead of having to pick it out of the vegetables. And season it however you want. I'm going to use this Shake Tasty. I got it at Walmart. It's really good stuff. I guess I could spray a little bit of oil on the top. Not much. Okay, back over here. Because I'm going to slice that onion later, I don't want to get the meat all over the board. I'm using this beef smoked sausage. You can see I got it on sale. It was buy one, get one free, and I had $2 off. So that's what I wanted for this week. And then I bought 3 other ones and put them in the freezer. So it says easy open. Let's see what they mean by that. Okie dokie, it is not easy open. Let me just be the one to tell you. Oh my gosh. No, there ain't nothing easy open about this. This is 10 ounces. So I'm going to, oh, I don't know how many servings I want to make this. My counter's clean. I'm going to cut these in coins, I guess you could say, and just put them on this side of the pan. I guess I want 2 ounces. I'm going to measure and see if I want 2 or 3 ounces because I'm going to have vegetables to go with it too. So, I mean, I need my protein. So I will determine after it's cooked and I see everything together how big my serving should be. So these are just going to set aside. I'm not going to come back to them. I'm just going to tell you now. I'm going to put them in the oven at 425. I'm just going to roast it until it's done. Now, if something gets done first, let's say your vegetables get done before your sausage does, just go ahead and scoop it on out and put your sausage back in there. Vice versa if the sausage gets done and the vegetables don't. So I'm just going to let you know that. I'll let you know how long mine took, though. Now that the eggs are done, they've been sitting here, I don't know, however long it took me to chop up those vegetables. You heard the buzzer go off. So I'm just putting them over in some ice water. I might need some more water in that. I'll put some more water in that. And I'm just going to let them sit here just a minute or two till they're cool enough to touch. And then I will peel them. Now before I peel my eggs, we're going to start the liquid that goes on. This is, I didn't even tell you what we're making. They're called red beet eggs. They're just pickled eggs. That's all they are. So you need a can of beets. I am using, let me turn my burner on. Cut beets. I have sliced and cut, but I thought I wanted to use cut for this recipe. You can use either one. It doesn't matter. But drain your liquid into your pot. You're going to add a half a cup of vinegar, and that is just plain old apple cider vinegar. And where'd my sugar go? 1/4 cup of sugar, but I'm using Trivia Sweet Complete. And we are going to stir this and let it simmer, it says, for 15 minutes. That's why I want to go ahead and get this started while I peeled the eggs and sliced the onion. So we'll keep an eye on it. And when it comes up to the simmer, we'll let it go for 15 minutes. Which probably is going to come up to the ball and then turn down and simmer 15 minutes. It don't say that, but that's pretty much how you do it. In the meantime of doing the beets and the eggs and all that, the casserole got done. I let it go for 30 minutes. You can see the middle is set. I checked it at 25. It was still pretty soft. So, let's see if I jiggle it. Can you see it's set? Now we just need to sprinkle it with 1 cup of cheese. And you can see the edges puffed up. I can, without a doubt, guarantee you that when this cools, it's going to settle down. Because that's just what egg casseroles do. And I don't foresee this one being any different. I could be wrong, but anyway, now we're going to pop it back in the oven just long enough, couple minutes, whatever it takes to melt that cheese. The beet juice is boiling. I just popped the breakfast casserole in there for the cheese to melt. We got time enough to do this. I put my eggs in a bowl. You want something that you can cover it. You could use a canning jar, which I was going to do, but I was afraid there wouldn't be enough beet juice to cover them. So I don't know. Whichever way seems best to you. So anyway, I have them in my bowl. We want to thinly slice. I don't think I'm going to do them this way. 1 onion. And since this is that half of that really big one, I think it will work just fine. I'm going to slice them, then I'm going to cut them in half, just because. Let me take that center. Did I just chop them? No, okay. Then I'm going to break those up in the bowl. Add your can of beets. And I'm just going to kind of mix that a little bit. I don't want to break my eggs, but I kind of want to get those. See, it doesn't seem like enough juice to me to cover these, but we're going to go with it. And so we're just going to set that aside until our juice gets ready. As soon as we got through with those eggs, the timer beeped on this. I told you we had time. I'm going to let it sit here and cool while I'm working on everything else before we cut it, because I really want it to be set. I don't know how this is going to work. So, what we're going to do now, crank your oven up to 425, and that's when we're going to pop the veggies and the sausage in. The beet juice has cooked for 15 minutes. We just want to pour it over the, oh yeah, that's a lot more liquid than I thought it was going to be. That's good. Now, they're not completely submerged, so what I'm going to do, this has to sit in the refrigerator for 2 days before you eat it, which is perfect for my meal prep before I'm going to, like, want to use them. So I'm going to push them down in there and then cover them. So whatever you use, make sure it's got a cover. If it's foil or plastic wrap, I don't care. Just cover it. Refrigerate it for 2 days. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the front of my fridge so I can get to it and go in there every little bit and just give it a stir to get everything down in the liquid. And I almost forgot to tell you, since it's going to be 2 days before I eat these, I tasted the liquid. It is delicious. For me, it is the perfect balance of sweet and sour. These are going to be delicious. I can go ahead and tell you right now, when I eat them, whenever it comes time, I will let you know. Even if it's on one of my What I Eat videos where I just put it to music, I will put on the screen if they are good or not. I have taken this out after 15 minutes to stir it, and it could be done to my liking. Let me see. Okay, that's tender. Onions tender. Squash is tender. And the sausages are sizzling and browned. So mine took 15 minutes at 425. I'm going to let it cool, and then we're going to package it up. And yeah, after that, we're going to, no, I think we'll go over there and scoop out our breakfast casserole. Then we'll package this up, and then we'll be through. Okay, guys and dolls, I am not sure how this is going to do, but I'm going to try to see if I can cut it. If it cuts into 6, well, I think it is. I say 6 even, but it's never even. Okay, I think I might can scoop it out with a spatula, so hold on a minute. Okay, I'll scoop one out on camera, just so we can see. Oh, looky there. Looky there. It did, it cooked. So there is our sausage layer and our gravy and egg layer with cheese on top. Oh, I think that's going to be good. Okay, let me scoop the rest out. Now I'm going to scoop my veggies out first. I've decided to do 4 servings. That will be 2.5 ounces of protein per bowl. I think that's a good amount. And then, you know, if the vegetables are too much, I don't have to eat them all. That's why I didn't do like big portions, just, you know, 1 pepper, 1 squash, what equals, I guess, 1 onion, what we used. Okay, I have my scale here. I'll put it on ounces and see if we can get 2.5 ounces. Look at there, 2.5 on the dot. So I'm gonna do that for the other 3. Well, guess what? The math works out that it should be 2.5. 2, 4, 6, 7. Oh, I did my math wrong. So 4. Hold on a minute, Alexa. What is 10 divided by 4?
10 divided by 4 is 2.5.
No, Alexa says 10 divided by 4 is 2.5. I guess, well, there's not any liquid on the plate, on the tray. So, I've only got, well, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've only got 8 ounces. So that's going to be 2 per bowl. Or else I'm going to have one that won't have any. So if I take this down to 2. Okay. And if I take this down to 2. Oh, wait a minute. I got to do that. No. Yeah. I've got 1 in here. Then I need to add a half from this one and a half from this one. Right? Is that right? I think I did my math right. So anyway, here's our lunch. Now, let's go to the other side of the kitchen and see what we made today. Before I go over there, I want to show you, as part of my timing, that I have washed all my dishes as I went along. The only thing I put in the dishwasher was the measuring cup and a couple of the utensils. And the only thing I didn't wash was the stoneware because it has to cool completely. Other than that, this all went along in the time, which I will have told you in the intro. Okay, so here's what we have today. We have our Pioneer Gravy breakfast casserole. I got 6 of those. We have our roasted beef sausage with some vegetables. I got 4 of those. And we have our pickled beets. So that is what I'm having this week. I think it's going to help me stay on track. Okay, I hope y'all are having a wonderful Saturday. Not sure if it's raining where I am, but it was last night. So I don't know if some of y'all are in snow still. I don't know. This is some wacky weather we've had this winter. Anyway, I hope you're staying dry and warm, doing something fun, prepping, whatever it is. I hope you're having a wonderful day of it. So I will see you in my next video.